will work on the bloom petals and do some details on the flowers and also remove the masking fluid. First thing we will do is put a wash down on the petals with yellow ochre. And because I went off for a little while, I'm going to go ahead and brush that. It's nice and dry now. You can see the stripes came out really well. And I'm very happy with that. So let's move on, and I'm going to start in the upper left bloom. And what I'd like to do, just to vary it up a little bit, make it a little more interesting, I'm going to start at the top and work down, and as I get a little bit closer to the bottom, I'm going to make it a lighter. So I'm going to skip around here just a little bit, and when I get a little bit less paint on my brush, I will go ahead and finish this. You see how I'm making it darker toward the top and lighter toward the center where the disc is. I'm purposely doing that. Not quite dark enough there. We'll make it lighter toward the center. So we're just going to go around. I won't do all of them on camera, but we'll get started on it. And I do want to show you how we do the shading. Some of these in the back will make those a little bit darker. I'm not wetting the paper first. Oh, I was going to show you, I had a little mistake there. I think I will do that right now, just to show you how we can fix that. My hand got a little loose earlier, and I got a little green on the edge of the petal there, so let me just lift that up. And once I get the yellow on it, it won't show much anyway. See, I'm just wetting it with a moist brush and lifting, and then dabbing with paper towel to get that extra line there that was out of place. And everything is dry, so it's okay to do it while it's dry. It's not going to mess up the stripe at all. All right, that's good. So now I can continue with the yellow ochre. To have a little bit of a line right here, I'm going to try to smooth that out. I'm just going down to the outer ring because we're going to make that a dark maroon in a little while. Remember, I'm skipping around because I don't want to have wet touch up against another wet area. You can make some lighter and some darker. This one is a little dark right here. I'm just going to lift some of that. This one in the background is a little bit darker anyway because it's in the background, so I'm just going to make it a little darker right there and lighter on the tip. You see, that will sort of get rid of those jagged edges where the hand is a little shaky when you were putting the background in here. Once you get the other layer of paint on there, it's not as noticeable. I'm a little lighter than I would like to be, I think, on some of those. Let's darken it up just a little bit. Alright, now this one here, these two should be dry enough, we'll see. Because it's behind, a little bit behind, I want this to be darker right here. This one is behind. Now I've come over around to the other side, and this one is still wet, so I'm just going to jump down and do a few down here. I will continue to go around and do all of these petals. Let them dry a little bit, but before we go, I'm going to just do a little treatment in the middle here of the disc. Like those just to be just a little bit darker, really. Okay, let's shift over and I'll show you something that I'm going to do in the middle here. I'm just going to take a little sepia and a little burnt umber and get another clean paper towel because I'm going to dab it. Okay. I'm just going to go around this. You have the center here, and then there's a ring right around the center. I'm going to paint that ring. This is where the masking fluid is. I'm going to let it soak in just for a minute, and then I'm going to dab up the excess. I'll let that soak in. I'll do another one over here. This one's good and dry. Just gonna get a paper towel and dab it. I still like it to be a little darker than that. And do it again. That looks pretty good. Okay, that's the effect I'm looking for. I'll go ahead and do this one. I think what I'm going to do is just randomly go through here and dot a little more brown in there. Just randomly, so you have not a solid effect. It looks kind of mottled. That's pretty good, I like that. I'll leave that one. We'll continue with yellow. Make sure to remember that when the ones that are a little bit behind, make them a little darker, and make sure that around the ring here is a little lighter, and we'll come back when we finish all the petals and let them dry, and we'll continue on with some more flower details. I finished all the yellow ochre, and now I have mixed up some maroon. I'm going to do the details, all the details on one flower so you can see all the steps. I've mixed up some dark maroon. I used the red and some ultramarine blue to get a nice dark color. And I'm going to pull some to the side and make it nice and light. So I'm going to have a pool of light maroon and a pool of dark maroon. I'm going to work on this right hand flower. I think that would be the easiest one to do. I'm just going to dab the dark maroon in the middle of this disc, and then I'm going to dab some around this outer edge. I'm going to kind of make it a jagged edge. Okay, and then I'm going to go over to the light maroon with a different brush. Begin to start highlighting the petals. I want to make it pretty light. I'm just going to run a few streaks down each petal so that it makes it look like it's not a flat petal. Let's try it. Might need to make it a little bit lighter. On some of them you can just go down the middle a little bit. coming from the tip going in. I'm going to lighten that one just a little bit. Okay. It's drying a lot lighter, so it doesn't show that much of an effect. All you want is just a very slight effect. If you make one that's too dark, you can lighten it up a little bit. This one is a little bit too dark for my liking. And just dab it up a little bit. I'm just going slow because I'm trying to make sure this is dry because I want to do something here next. Alright, let's see if this is dry. I just want to go around the middle ring right on the outside here with a little bit of extra pink color, a light maroon color. Let's see if I don't want to smear this right here, so I'm going to make sure that's dry enough. I am embellishing these a little bit more than they were in the original reference photo, just for fun. I'm putting a little extra color in there. But there are many, many hybrids of African daisies. You see all different combinations of colors. Alright, I have to let that dry a little bit. I will come back to the tips of the petals and do a little work there. I'm going to go back to the dark maroon again. Just going to accent the tips of the petals, make them stand out a little bit. Okay, I don't know if this light pink is dry yet, but I'll test it out to see. I'm going to take a small liner brush. I will use my dark maroon again. What I want to do is to just make some nice thin lines. You can vary them in length, radiating out from the center. And it looks like this is dry enough, this light pink is dry enough, so I'm going to go ahead and put a few more in there. Again, you can vary the length. The only thing we have left to do is to take up this masking fluid. I'm going to wait a few minutes and come back because this really needs to dry a little bit. I'll finish the details on the other flowers and then we will wrap it up. I'm going to carefully remove the masking fluid from the centers, but on these two flowers here, this outer pink ring is not quite dry yet, so I haven't put the last little bit of painting on there, so I'm just going to wait a few more minutes and do the masking fluid. So we're going to use this tool, rub it right off, and I'm going to accent it with a little orange. And leave a little white too. So I'll go ahead and do all this at one time. Kind of looks good white too. You could leave it white if you wanted to. Okay. Just going to take a little brush with a little orange on it. Dab a little orange in there and leave a little white around the edges. I think it just ties in this orange stripe a little bit. That's the main reason why I did it. Now let's see very quickly. I think this light pink around these other two flowers is dry enough now. I'll take my liner brush again with the dark maroon and just finish those off. Make sure you get it good and dark because it does fade quite a bit as it dries. These daisy-like flowers are always so fun to paint. They have so many different color combinations. And I think we will call this one done. I hope you will join me for lesson 5, where we will feature the azaleas. Those are also fun to paint. I can't wait to do that one. I hope to see you in the next lesson.